Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are again for another Copper Coins roll reveal. This one is number 407, 1946S plastic tube roll. This is a great roll. Should be a great year. Got all kinds of opportunities to find die varieties in here, so what do we say we just go ahead and dig in? I've got, let's see, I got a few minutes left. I'll wait a few more minutes and I'll see if anybody else shows up before I really start digging in, but I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this tube open. Hello, Angie. There we go. Bust my tape seam on it. There we go. Got the roll open, sitting here in front of me. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And coin number 1, Taco John. And the first coin out of the roll. It's a little on the slightly brownish side. We brighten it up just a little bit. So part of that's how the image is processing. There we go. It's a little redder than it looked. And we have a little bit of machine doubling on this, but it's not anything else. So there's the obverse of that one. Reverses are pretty much unknown for 1946S. So I'll look at, well, I think there are a couple. Hang on, let me check. Let's go look. Hello, Dennis. Tim. Let's go take a look real quick. Just to see, okay? Just to see. There we go. We're going to run a search of 1940s. Wait a minute. Get back in there. No. There we go. What is going on? Wow, that was weird. My keyboard did not want to do what I was typing. All right, here we go. For double die obverses, couple of eyelids, we have a very nice double die obverse that's also tied to a nice RPM. Got one that shows on the date. We've got one that shows in Liberty. For reverses, we have a few pretty nice ones. Okay, we do have a few pretty nice double die reverses listed for 1946S. And then we've got a whole host of RPMs. A lot of pretty nice RPMs for 1946. But what I want to show you is this little guy at the end of the RPM listings. This is 1946S over D, OMM number 1. That is a valuable puppy right there. So that's what we have to look forward to, hopefully. And so, but for coin number 1, we ended up with nothing. Now coin number 2. Coin number 2 goes to Dennis. Here is a coin for Dennis. Nice RPM. Right there. Boom. Nice RPM. Dennis, if you want to take note of what you've got here, you could go and look in the listings for it. If you have the ability, you can pop a screenshot of it real quick. In fact, I'll blow it up just a little bit, make it a little more clear as to what it is. Very nice RPM. I have not memorized the 1946S RPM, so I don't know this one right off the bat. All I can tell you is that it is a very nice one. There we go. So there's Dennis. Dennis is the winning horse for right now. Let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse real quick and see if we have anything of note going on in the reverse on this coin. Get my time exposure back down just a little bit. There we go. And Nothing going on the reverse here. But that's coin number 2. Okay, coin number 2, and we've already got a really nice repunch mint mark. Here's coin number 3, Mr. Reese. Very nice looking coin I'm pulling off, I see. And I do believe this one is also an RPM. I believe it could be. I think this right here is another lower curve. Like this right here, you can see it here. I think you can see another one right here. But I'm not sure of that, so we'll have to kind of temper the mood on that one and hold it out for another look just in case. If there's that, let's take a look at the reverse. Nothing big going on in the reverse, but we will hold this one out just in case. Yeah, Eric, coin number 2 was a nice RPM. Coin number 3 appears that could possibly be an RPM, and we're just now on coin number 4. Dennis says that his coin number 2 could be RPM 7. This is machine doubling here. This looks like this will probably turn out being the same die as the first coin we pulled out of the roll, because it was also a sans serif and it was also machine doubled to the north, just like this one. And you can tell this is machine doubling. And let me bring this up to exemplify and show you specifically why this is definitely machine doubling and nothing else. This is for the beginners out there, the people who want to learn something who don't know. I'm about to show you. Okay, I can get this focused up again. Alright. Now, this right here would be your doubling, correct? That and this little guy up here and all this here, and then this up here would all be your doubling, correct? Well, if you look at this and you look at it closely, you can see how metal was scooped out from here and then left up on top of here. It's like somebody shoveled the snow. Right here, you see how it's been scooped out, okay? And that's what made your doubling, was that scooping, okay? The other thing that you'll notice is that the doubling is extremely flat to the field. It's very flattened down. It has very abrupt ends, okay? This doesn't smoothly transition back into a single part of the 6. It's basically just scooped out as far as it could, and that's it, okay? The other thing that we look at right here, the mint mark is doubled just like the date is. In any case, prior to 1990, this would be impossible because the mint marks are added into the die after the die is finished. So the 1946 was placed into this die, then it was placed into a storage, and then it was pulled back out to punch the S in it later. And so double dies happen at the time the die is created. So the die was created without the S mint mark. The S mint mark was added to the die by hand prior to being hung on the pressed mint coins. So there's no chance that there would be any doubling where the date and the mint mark would be related to one another. And I think if you look over here, you'll probably see other machine doubling, perhaps. No machine doubling. Okay, thought I might. Up here there probably is. Oh, I guess not. So machine doubling is pretty much limited to the date area. But still, it is machine doubling, and now you can tell for sure what that difference is that you've got scooped out metal along and near the doubling. The doubling is very flat to the field of the coin, meaning that the doubling doesn't pop up much at all, and that the date and mint mark have related doubling, something that you're not going to see on coins prior to 1990. The reason for that, as of 1990, the mint mark was actually in the master that created the dies. So pretty decent chance that if you have a double die on a, say, a 1995D Lincoln Cent, that you're also going to see doubling on the mint mark, because it was actually in the die at the time it was created. So there you go. That's that little tidbit of information for the day. Like to learn something new every day. Now, if you've already learned this, and you already know this, then turn around and teach it to the next guy. That person may not already know it. Alright, that's coin number 4. Now coin number 5. Going to Carl. Going to Carl with coin number 5. This is an RPM, I do believe. Maybe. Kind of hard to tell. I will put it aside with the other die varieties and let Eric take another look at it. But it looks like this could be an RPM to the west, because it looks like I have something up here that's related to what's going on down here, and this looks like a little bit of extra thickness, which tells me that this is secondary. So it could be an RPM. Let's check out the reverse and see if we have a double die reverse. And the answer to that question would be no, we don't. So I'll stick this in the pile with the other die varieties, hoping that there is a decent chance that this is perhaps a die variety. We'll move on to coin number 6. Adam, coin number 6 is yours. And nice little toner. I like the coloring on this. See, there's another one that looks like it's from the same die as the last one. And while it's kind of hard to tell definitively so, it does appear that it could also have some doubling in that same area of the mint mark. So I will put this one aside as well. Let's check out the reverse first. Look at the reverse and see what we find. And it's going to be nothing on the reverse. So we'll get this one, we'll set it aside with the other coins that could possibly be an RPM. There's number 7. Number 7 now, Yo Man. What does Yo Man get? Well, Yo Man gets another one of the normal coins that has some machine doubling on the 4/6 of the date and other areas. That's what we've got for Yo Man. So far, all of the coins in this roll have either been the large S mint mark or the serif mint mark and the sans serif mint mark, the two of which are the most common by very far in the Lincoln Cent, or in the 1946 S Lincoln Cent issue. The ball serif, which would be the other style, that's the one that you can find inverted. And that one is far less common than the other two. I think Brian did a study recently and found that it was around 10%. And that was out of thousands of coins. Around 10%. Alright, next coin up. Not really seeing anything here. These are a little bit toned down in color, but not quite as bad as it seems through the microscope. They're quite a bit more lustrous and red than they appear. Oops. Put that one in backwards. There, see, you can see that the luster is definitely still present. It's still there. It just doesn't look quite so exciting through the microscope because that magnification kind of throws a lot of light around. So I do everything I can to diffuse the light so I can see the details. And when I diffuse the light out to see the details, it kind of washes out luster. And so what you're seeing under the microscope doesn't look nearly as lustrous as the actual coin is. So when you see these under the microscope and you think, that doesn't look so wonderful. Well, it's actually simply because I have a lot of magnification and a lot of diffused light looking at it. Diffused light means taking a small light and creating as much light surface as you can. Are there any RPMs with different mint mark types? I believe there could be, but I don't think there are any listed as such. I think a couple of them are. There's another one of those ones. Now see, with this one I can tell that it's not the lower mint mark where the issue is. The issue is actually right up in the middle of the upper curve, over on the left side of the upper curve. That's where this RPM shows up. But this is probably appears to be another example of the RPM that we've pulled a couple of times out of this roll so far. Not much to it, but it is there. Little tiny little hickey bump coming off the east or the west part of the upper curve on the S. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick, although I think we've seen this reverse before. Doesn't ever hurt us to look again. Give it a short cursory look to see if there's anything on there, and it doesn't appear there's anything on there, so we will move on to the next coin. Coin number 11 now, Yeoman. And, well, Yeoman gets some really nice color on his coin. It does not appear there's any doubling on the obverse side. Let's flip it over and look at the reverse real quick. Nothing there. I could have a thunderstorm rolling in. Thought maybe I just heard a little clap of thunder off in the distance. I'll have to keep watching for that. Next coin up, not an RPM, but this is the sans serif style mint mark. Over 80%. Over 80% of all 1946S Lincoln cents are either this or the large S type. Ball serif being the other. Ball serif is quite a bit less common. We may or may not see any of those in this. Now this one is an RPM. You can see the lower serif is split down there. Definite split in the lower serif. In fact, it looks like I have a split in the lower serif out here, and then it looks like I may have separation on the outside of the curve here and the inside of the curve right up here. That's what it looks like straight off. We will be saving this one. That is that reduction lathe doubling that we've discussed before on the face. And nothing else going on. Let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse real quick. And something about looking at coins when you're looking for double dies and such, you want the light casting on the coin as best possible. You don't always want the coin straight up and down like you're going to read it. You want the light casting in ways that will show doubling. That would be the most common types of doubling for that particular date. What that would be is your light running toward the rim of the coin. So if you're seeing, if you think you're going to see hub doubling toward the top of the design, then you want the coin upside down, so the light will be shining from the center of your design toward the rim, going upward, so your coin will be upside down to you. It'd be just easier for you to see it if you run into anything. So I'm never worried about what the coins say anyway. I'm just looking at the lines. I'm looking at where the different possible areas of doubling are and what I should be looking for in those areas. And I got nothing here. So I'll be moving on to the next one. Hello, Ant. Oh, there it is. That's the RPM again. That's actually, looks like it might be a different RPM. But it is an RPM. It has a split on the inside of the upper serif, and it has an extra upper curve to the left to make that a S over S west. And this one will be from Mr. Birchman. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick and see if we have anything going on the reverse. I've been doing this for enough time that I can kind of get a decent look at the coin and tell you within a second or two whether or not you got something going on. There's another one of them right there. That one for Eric. Second example of the same die. We're not even going to look at the reverse on this one. No point. I can tell when I flip it over if there's anything big on it before I put it in the pocket. And no, there's nothing big on this one. A little bit of a scrape down in the lower part of the design, but nothing huge. Now we go to Sureg. Sureg comes up next. And what do we have? Well, that's another one of our little ones that has a little pocket mark right there that looks like could be a part of a secondary mint mark. So I've been holding these out for Eric to take a better look at them. They may not be listable, but we have seen a few of them now. This has got a bit of a Larry on it. Larry's had his chance to get to it. And now we're up to coin number 18. Penny Hoarder. Penny Hoarder, coin number 18. And what do we have on coin number 18 but a normal sans serif S mint mark? Sans serif, boys and girls, meaning without serifs. What are serifs? Serifs are the little points at the corners of letters that make little triangles at the corners of letters and make letters fancy. Well, this one doesn't have any of that. So they call it sans serif. Sans is French for without. So the sans serif, without serif, mint mark is a common type for 1946. 1946 S. Definitely thunder. Definitely heard some thunder that time. Another interesting coin there. That one's worth looking at closer. That might be another RPM. Yeah, I just took a look at the radar using my phone here. That's why I'm not paying a whole lot of attention or talking a whole lot. Looks like I'm going to need to shut down after this reveal is over. You have to shut down. So I guess I will reschedule 408 for tomorrow. And we'll do 408 and 409 tomorrow. That'll be the 42S and the 52S. The last two for this week, we'll take care of those tomorrow. So see if I can get through this one before the storm hits, so I can get my pooter shut down. I'm having a bit of an issue right now. I have no UPS system, so I have no battery backup, and I have no real surge protection because I am awaiting a delivery through Amazon of a new battery pack to go in my battery backup and surge protector, which I am presently not using. Oh, pretty color. Look at that color. That's nice. What would you call that? Turquoise? Is that kind of bluish? Looks kind of bluish to me. What you say? It's probably pink. I'm way off, right? Is the reverse of this one. Nothing's up there. Moving on to coin number 22 now. 22 will be for Mr. Birchman again. Let's see what Mr. Birchman picks up here. Well, this one has a little bit of that lathe reduction doubling on the nose, but it doesn't have much of anything else going on. Dog heard thunder. Guess where he is? That's right. Straight up underneath me. He only comes up here when it storms. So evidently I am still his emotional support being. I'm scared human. There's another RPM for us. Another cute one. I like that. Nice little RPM. That was a nice, easily identifiable RPM, I'm sure, which we will get them identified. Perhaps maybe need a photograph of the nicest one of these for the website. We'll see. I don't know. Ooh, that one's got a Larry on the reverse. A little bit of weakness in the strike right there. That's what that is. That's not grease filled. That's just weakness. See all these little lines and stuff? Well, all this stuff is what happens to the planchet while it's sitting waiting to be used. They go into one bin, then another bin, then another bin, and they get tossed around a miraculously large amount of time before they actually go into the press. Now, when they go into the press, you see all this stuff. Well, that's what the original planchet looked like before it was struck. And when it was struck, it took all that out of the planchet in the areas that were struck heavily. But the weakly struck areas, it remains. Why was that area weakly struck? Well, because that area of the design is directly opposite the head on the other side of the design, which stands out a lot in relief. Given that it stands out a lot in relief, you are not going to get as much metal to fill in the design completely. Hey, boom, there's another one. This is just like Dennis's coin here. Dennis says probably RPM number 7. Very nice. Here's a marker for you. Big nice die scratch right behind the eyebrow. Very nice one. Yeah, see right here where the head is? This part of the head right here is one of the thickest areas of the design. You go over to the other side, and this is where that area is on the other side of the design. Now, this one happens to be fully struck, which, okay, so the letters might have just a little bit of the, it's raining. Might have just a little bit of the kooky stuff in it. In fact, it might even get kind of loud here. We may have some hail with this. There is that one for Deanne. I'm going to try to get through this roll before my power shuts off on me. Here's one for Mr. Reese. If by chance I do happen to lose power, this is a very late die state coin. It was pretty well struck, but the information on it's pretty weak because it was very late die state. This die was just about totally worn out when they struck this coin. In the event that I do lose power, I need to get this out. In the event that I do lose power, I will go ahead and finish the reveal. And it just won't be filmed. I've already got the roll open. You guys saw me open the roll. You guys saw me go through the first half of the roll. So if it turns out that I need to go through the other half of the roll by candlelight, I can do that. Nah. What I'll do is I'll just wait for the power to come back on later on at night and take care of the rest of the roll then. Yeah, we've got a lot of wind whipping around and stuff too. I would not be surprised if I lose power. Got my dog sitting here underneath me, thinking the house is going to cave in on him. Machine doubling. A bunch of machine doubling. And this one for Taco John. I think I remember that. 7 and 8 being very much alike. I was thinking that there was one of the dates of S. Mint Mark in the 40s where the old RPM book had the same photo for two different RPMs because they were extremely similar and somebody made a mistake. And they plated the same photo in two spots. Oop, there's some lightning. Kaboom. I don't know if you guys can hear this storm, but I sure can. Oh, there was a flicker in my computer. Lightning again. It's never good when we run into stuff like this. Let me see what we have going on here, because it could be... No, this is just die wear. This is what it looks like when a die wears excessively. You get a whole bunch of this fluff coming out, and it chips away toward the outside edge of the design. It's a very normal thing for excessive die wear. Here's number 28 for Yo Man. Well, I got nothing going on here, I don't think. Or maybe we do. Is that an overlapping S at the bottom? No. Okay, no it isn't. Nothing really going on here. Okay, our rain is letting up a little bit. Perhaps the storm is passing. Even if it is, I don't want to take a chance on the second one. The radar looks pretty nasty in the area. I'll just do the second one tomorrow. We'll just do 2 reveals tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll catch number 408 and number 409 and be done for the week. And then Monday, I'll have another group of rolls ready for us to go through. All right, this is coin number 29. It's Crispies. And I'm not really seeing anything of great value there. Let's check the reverse. And nothing on the reverse either. Oop, little tiny power flicker. My lights just flickered. Here's number 30, Ant 2242. I'll be lucky if we make it all the way through this one. All right, Ant has a case of machine doubling. Machine doubling on a sans serif Ant Mark coin. I'm going to guess that those are probably all the same die.